In 1940, London stopped being just the capital of the British Empire and became one of the most heavily bombed cities in history. For 57 consecutive nights, the sky burned. This period became known as the Blitz.
And today, with the help of artificial intelligence, we're going to animate some real photos from that time. This photo, for example, shows displaced London residents reading an evacuation notice in the Docklands area of the East End. These messages served to spread news of future attacks, with the intention of protecting the population. After the fall of France in 1940, Nazi Germany needed to neutralize the United Kingdom. Hitler believed that by destroying London, he could break civilian morale and force Britain to surrender. This led to a massive aerial campaign by the Germany, night bombings, relentless attacks designed to spread fear and chaos. The first major attack began on September 7, 1940. More than 300 German bombers crossed the British sky at dusk. Within hours, docks, factories, residential neighborhoods, and historic areas were engulfed in flames. From that moment on, London lived under near constant bombardment. This image captures the moment London truly entered the Blitz. On September 7, 1940, the German Luftwaffe launched its first massive attack directly against the British capital. The towering column of smoke rising from the Docklands marks the deliberate targeting of London's port infrastructure, the heart of the city's economy. These docks handled food, fuel, weapons, and raw materials essential to Britain's survival. What we are seeing here is not just physical destruction, but strategic intent. By striking the docks, Germany aimed to paralyze supply lines and create chaos far beyond the battlefield. This map reveals the true scale of the Blitz. The blackened areas represent districts of London that suffered heavy bomb damage during the German air campaign. What immediately stands out is that the destruction was not random. The most heavily hit zones follow the course of the River Thames, the railway networks, and major industrial and transport hubs. This clearly shows that the Luftwaffe was not only trying to terrorize civilians, but to systematically disrupt Britain's ability to function as a modern industrial nation. Around 43,000 British civilians were killed, and more than 2 million homes were damaged or destroyed during the Blitz. With little protection, civilians sought shelter wherever they could. Underground stations became massive, improvised dormitories. Entire families slept on the floor while bombs exploded just meters above them. Another action taken at the time was the evacuation of children to the interior of the country. This image is not a photograph, but a message, carefully crafted to shape behavior during the Blitz. It is a British government evacuation poster aimed at parents and children living in London. The boy stands holding a small bag, clearly prepared to leave. His expression reflects uncertainty rather than fear, suggesting that evacuation was presented not as panic, but as duty. The adult figure leans forward, speaking calmly, almost reassuringly. The message is clear. The war will be handled by adults. Children must be protected. The British government quickly realized that morale was as important as military strength. During this period, the famous slogan was created, "Keep calm and carry on." Although rarely displayed at the time, it perfectly represented the national mindset: endure, resist, and move forward. One of the most powerful images of the Blitz shows St. Paul's Cathedral standing intact while the city burned around it. The image became a symbol of British resistance. Ironically, by focusing so heavily on London, Germany allowed the Royal Air Force time to recover, contributing to the failure of the German air campaign. These images show what the Blitz ultimately left behind. Not battlefields, but streets that once carried daily life. The destroyed double-decker bus is a powerful symbol. Public transport was essential to London's routine, and its destruction shows how the war reached ordinary civilians going about their day. This was not a military convoy. It was a city bus, reduced to twisted metal by a bomb that fell without warning. In the streets, we see the scale of the devastation. Entire blocks reduced to rubble, smoke still rising, while civilians walk through the ruins of their own neighborhoods. These people are not soldiers. They are residents returning, searching, assessing what remains of their lives.
By May 1941, the bombing campaign had largely stopped. Germany shifted its focus toward the invasion of the Soviet Union. London survived, wounded, scarred, but never defeated.